Hi, I wanted to walk through a few options for annotation in Zoom. So annotation just basically means drawing over or writing over a thing on the screen together. So allowing your students or participants to draw over an image or a slide and work together on a project of some kind. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. So the first thing though that I'd suggest is that you want to look at your Zoom settings to make sure you have some of this enabled. So let me share my screen. And you will log into Zoom using Google and using your ComDay email, and then go to your settings. I always recommend to look at these pretty often, or at least once in a while, to make sure it's set to what you want for your particular classes. It might change based on your lesson or based on what you're doing or your students, so make sure you check them. The ones relevant right now are looking at screen sharing, allow host and participant to share their screen or content during meetings. You can decide if you just want you to be able to do that, to share your screen, or if you want to allow students to do that. That is something you want to think about. Another one that's relevant right now is annotation. Allow participants to use annotation tools to add information to shared screens. So when you share the screen, do you want to be the one drawing on it, or do you want students to also be able to collaborate on it? Think about that. And then one that could be important is whiteboard. If you want a blank whiteboard space in Zoom, then you have to have that enabled to be able to have that as an option. Okay, once you've got your settings the way you want them, then you're going to get into a Zoom meeting, however you usually get into your Zoom meetings. I already had one up. So there we go. I'm already in there. So to annotate anything, you first want to share your screen. So you're going to share and then click whatever the thing is you want to annotate. So if you want a blank whiteboard, I did another video on that. You can just have a blank whiteboard space that you can draw on and annotate on. If you want to do something else, you can share screen. I have an image. If you want just an image to be something that they draw on, I have that opened off to the side. You've got to have it open on the screen for it to automatically pop up as one of these options. So if you have an image you want them to be able to annotate, then you can just click the annotate button on this image itself. So hit the little stamp button, there we go. And then another option that might be really helpful is to, again, click share screen. If you do a slideshow, so for example, I have up here a page open with a Google slideshow. So I'm going to click that. There we go. So in this, it allows participants to draw or write on this slideshow in the Zoom meeting. I mean, they could also log into it using their Google account and edit directly. But if it's just sort of a brainstorming session, then this is something that you could do where they could add text, they could add their stamp. And then one cool feature of this that might make you want to do this in Zoom rather than Google Slides, maybe not, but there are some options in Zoom that are important to think about. So I had it shown. So you can show names of annotators. So that means that when someone annotates or adds a drawing, it'll have their name pop up next to it so you can see who is doing what. That could be really useful, especially in a class setting, to see who is working where, just you know who has put down what on the space as people are adding together. If it gets out of hand, you can also disable attendee annotation so that just you can edit the page rather than the students. So both of those are options. And as I've shown, you can pick up anything, an image, a slideshow, a blank space. You can even do the Zoom window or a Chrome window and allow the participants to annotate that with text, with the stamp, with the drawing, with whatever tool that they want in a discussion. So it's pretty cool that you have all those options. I'm going to stop sharing now and go back to my regular window. There we go. So I hope that was helpful. There are a lot of options there. You want to make sure they're enabled on your Zoom account in your settings, and then just log in and play with them and see if they're helpful for you in your classes. You can share pretty much anything in the Zoom meeting itself and allow people to draw on it. In the slides or in something like that, it won't save onto the slide file itself in Google, but you can, in those settings, make it so that you can save the image that you've all worked on. So if you want to save the notes or save the brainstorming session, you can have that image saved at the end. Okay, I hope that helped, and yeah, have a good day.